It might be £46,000, but it puts a massive smile on my face. Hey guys, welcome to my one-take video on Toyota's updated GR Yaris. I'm out here in beautiful sunny Germany, and on this trip I decided to bring an M4CS, and my good friend and fellow YouTuber Petrolped decided to bring this. So we've swapped keys. He's currently filming and reviewing the M4, so I suggest you head over to his channel and check that out. I did try a pre-facelift GR Yaris about 3 years ago. That belonged to Imran from Evolve. It was tricky, slippery conditions back home in the UK, which really did suit that car, but I have to say and admit that my muscle memory has long gone. Firstly, I have to take my hat off and commend Toyota for giving us such a ridiculous little hot hatch in 2025. This updated version is available as a manual for £46,000. Yes, you heard that right. Or an automatic for £47,500. Thankfully, this particular UK press car is a 6-speed manual. The only options it has on top of that 46 grand list price, I believe, is this black paintwork, which is about 650 quid. I absolutely love the styling on these. They're less than 4 meters long and they look about 4 meters wide. Thankfully, they're not 4 meters wide. They're a perfect size for your typical A or B road. I also love the design and size of these 18-inch wheels, and they're clad with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres that are homologated for this car. And off memory, the pre-updated GR Yaris was the first OEM to wear Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres in 18-inch, because I think back then you could only get PS4Ss in 19 and above. Underneath this tiny bonnet, we have a relatively tiny engine. It's a 1.6 litre, 3-cylinder turbocharged unit. It now produces 280 horsepower, which is 20 horsepower up on the old car. It has a maximum torque figure of 390 newton meters. Now, those numbers aren't massive in today's world, but when you bear in mind that this car only weighs 1,280 kilos, it's really impressive. That runs through a 6-speed manual gearbox, as we talked about in this particular car, and is fed to the ground via a very trick and adjustable 4-wheel drive system. Toyota claimed this would do the 0 to 62 sprint in just 5.2 seconds. Before we get to the good stuff, because there is plenty of good stuff, let's start with the negatives. And you probably guessed what they are already. The first one, interior space, especially in the back. The front is just about okay. The back seats are absolutely tiny, as is the boot. I think it's about 170 litres. Hence, PED's luggage being on the back seat. It's almost a bit 911-esque. But then you can't expect too much practicality in such a small car. We've already talked about it being under 4 meters long. There's not many cars that are on sale today that are under 4 meters. Most of them are around 5 meters or even longer, like my M5 Touring. The next one is just the cabin and the fit and finish. Now, although we can't expect too much in here, because at the end of the day, it is just a Yaris, it's also almost a £50,000 Yaris. So I was maybe expecting a little bit better quality and fit and finish. Saying that, they do seem to have taken a little bit of a step forward compared to the pre-update version. The seats, I believe, are the same. They're relatively supportive. They're quite comfortable. Ped's done many hours in this car over the past couple of days, and he seems to think they're very good in that aspect, so I'll take his word for it. But the actual driving position is not brilliant. But the pre-facelift car was probably worse off memory. I feel like I'm sitting at least a little bit lower. What they have improved is the actual visibility and vision. I remember complaining about that the first time I got an Imran's. The rear view mirror was massive. It seemed to come down about half of the windscreen, and the dashboard was really high. So when you combine the two, you had a letterbox to look through. But now I've got much better vision. So they've improved that, but my rear vision, looking through that new and improved mirror, Well, it's very limited. There is a motorbike behind me, but I can only see its tyre. And I think if I was shorter, I could see a little bit more, but sitting up here, I can't see much, and that's not ideal. I can use my side mirrors, and obviously they show me a lot more, but I do wish that I could see a little bit more out of my rear window. And the last negative that I have to talk about is all of these beeps and bongs that are constantly going on. You might not be able to hear them, hopefully, on this microphone. And Ped did show me how to turn them off, but you have to go through menus after menus to switch it all off. I'm talking about the lane departure, the speed bongs, all of the modern annoyances that we have to live with that the pre-update car off memory didn't have. Maybe there is a button in here that switches it all off, but speaking to Ped, he said there isn't. And if there isn't, I think Toyota have really missed the trick there, because most manufacturers these days are giving us 1 or 2 buttons that we can just hit, and it kills all of those annoying things that are meant to make our cars and our driving safer. They simply don't. Now, as we're leaving this village, let's get onto the good bits. We have some modes down here, which consist of custom, sport, normal, and eco. And I'm going to put it into sport. And the reason I'm going to put it into sport is because that then gives me 70% torque and power distribution on the rear axle, 30 on the front. By default, it's almost the other way around, 60 on the front, 40 on the rear. And when you go to track, it's 50-50. So I'm sure Toyota have worked out that 50-50 is quickest around the majority of laps. But I like my rear wheel drive cars, and I love the fact that this car, you can get it to be rear biased. I'm then going to turn the traction control off down here. Not that I'm going to be doing big skids, because we have loads of grip on those PS4Ss, because it's lovely and dry and very warm outside. I've also hit the IMT button. I can't remember what that stands for, but it essentially gives me a throttle bit or throttle blip on my downshift. So I'll demonstrate as we're coming up to this corner here. We'll talk about the rest of the good stuff in a minute. So nice little blip as we're coming down the gearbox. I would normally love to do heel and toe, but because of my compromised driving position and the fact that this car really isn't designed for lanky frames like me, I find it very hard to do heel and toe in this tiny little pedal box. So I'm going to let the car do it, and it does a very, very good job. That 1.6 litre 3-cylinder turbocharged motor, it is magic. Ped told me that it loves the rev and it's got loads up top, which it has. But what I find most addictive with this motor is the mid-range punch from about almost 2,500 RPM. Definitely at 3,000, which we're at now, you put your foot down and it pulls like a train. It's really, really impressive. Such a small little motor, but yet it feels so strong. And usually small motors can produce decent power figures, but they tend to lack torque. But this thing, it's just got loads of torque, almost 400 Newton meters. We can go for overtakes like this. It's just wonderful. It sounds okay from in here. I'm not sure if we're getting any fake sounds piped around the cabin, but there's literally no sounds on the outside. We were doing some drive-bys yesterday, and anyone that was on the outside, including me, you could barely hear this car at all. Whereas when you're in the driver's seat, where you get a decent amount of induction sound, you can hear the turbo and the intake at slower speeds, especially in built-up areas when you've got your windows open. So it has character, and I'm sure there's a lot of things you can do to that, adding intakes and exhausts and stuff to enhance all of it and make this a more exciting car. Because remember, it's 2025. This car has to tick so many boxes and cross through so much red tape in order for Toyota to sell it today. So you can't blame the manufacturer. And I'm sure there's a lot of really good aftermarket stuff you can do with this. But in terms of the way it delivers the torque and the power, it's just wonderful. Come in here, I'll leave it in third, pick the throttle up nice and early, Oh, it's just brilliant. You're aware of it being turbocharged, and it is a little bit boosty, but not over the top. Revs, 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 revs. I mean, the dashboard's even pretty cool. I can see the rev counter that changes colour as we get towards the top of the rev range. So it starts going orange and then red, and then it flashes. I just nudge the limiter then. It's brilliant. I can feel it moving around. I also have to mention this car's efficiency. Toyota claim it would do about 32 mpg on the combined. Petrolped spent the entire day in this car and about 300 miles driving from the UK through France, Belgium and into Germany on day one of this trip. It averaged about, I think, 33 or 34 by the time we got to Germany, and that was sitting at about 85 miles an hour through France and Belgium. And then after we'd done some high-speed runs in Germany, and PED managed 139 miles an hour in this, which is only 4 miles an hour shy of its claimed top speed, well, that MPG combined figure only dropped to about 31. So he averaged 31 miles to the gallon over about 350 mixed miles, including about 40 minutes on the German Autobahn. I think that is massively impressive. Basically, it will do 30 miles to the gallon no matter how you drive it and no matter which roads you're on, whether it's this sort of road or whether it's an Autobahn or a regular motorway. Right, let's now talk about its handling, because that's what most GR Yaris customers want to know. Well, the suspension is unbelievably good. This bit of road, as you can hopefully see, is horrendous. It's worse than a UK road. But this car just gobbles it all up. It's unreal. And it feels so expensive and solid. It inspires me with confidence, as do the brakes that are fantastic. We've already talked about the engine. Oh, it's so much fun. I would say its biggest weak point to me is steering feel. It's a lovely steering wheel, by the way, but the steering feel could be better, really could. And I've spent the past few days in an M4 CS, which basically has no steering feel. That's electric steering max for you, I guess. You soon get used to it. This is literally a GR Yaris road. It's just brilliant. Once it starts moving around a bit, before I end this video, I want to say a massive shout out and thanks to Toyota UK for putting me on the insurance of this car. Obviously a massive shout out and thanks to my good friend Petrolped for trusting me with it, because he has to drive this back to the UK. And of course, Michelin UK, because, well, they're funding this Nürburgring 24-hour trip and we wouldn't be here without those guys. So please make sure you head over to Michelin UK's Instagram page and give them a follow and comment on one of their posts and say that I sent you. That would be wonderful. Let's just enjoy this last bit of GR Yaris heaven. Just touch the limiter through there, no need to change up. Oh, I can hear those PS4S's squealing. The way the car moves around, I can feel the magic diffs working. Oh, it's just so addictive. The harder you drive it, the more it rewards you. It's just brilliant. Joe, you need to stop having too much fun. That really sums up this car. It brings the best or the worst out of you. I'm not sure which, but yeah, brilliant. Gets a thumbs up from me. It's expensive, but it is so much fun. Guys, I'll see you at another video very, very soon. Cheers.